Everyone, it's me, Vinny. I'm back with another vlog. This is news from last night, but considering everything involving Henry Ruggs, it really got pushed under the radar. Plus, yes, I have heard about the Aaron Rodgers. Yes, I have heard about the Aaron Rodgers story. It's absolutely insane. He really should have gotten vaccinated, but I'll say that for another vlog a bit later. But there is news I did want to say to everyone in Raider Nation right here. Nathan Peterman, easily the greatest quarterback of all time. No one can deny that. He is the greatest of all time. Whoever says otherwise is just lying to themselves. He is the greatest ever. Yeah, apparently he was just cut by the Raiders. This is a bit of a surprise to me. Now, you could say it's a surprise in many areas. Why is this it's a surprise, the fact that Nathan Peterman, who has been anything but a good quarterback. I hate this for him too. I mean, I don't know anyone else that was really begging down the doors to bring in Nathan Peterman, someone who. The reason why he's been such a meme is because when he's played, whenever he throws the ball, he oftentimes gets picked. Like in his first game ever, he threw 5 interceptions. 2 of them were pick sixes, and whenever you expect to see him on the field, you always expect to see an interception as a result. I wish I could say anything without like smirking, but just whenever you think the name Nathan Peterman, you always think of just ineptitude, like some of the worst quarterback play you'd ever see. But at the same time, he still made it in the NFL. He's a better quarterback than you and I could ever imagine. So, is he really that bad when all things are combined? I don't think so. Probably not. But in terms of other quarterbacks, his completion percentage was 56%. That's atrocious. But it is a surprise that they have decided to cut him. I don't know if Marcus Mariota has been taken off the IR now. If anyone knows that, please let me know. But as for Nathan Peterman, hey, listen. I wish him the best, and I hope he gets picked by someone, probably on a practice squad for all we know. But his time with the Raiders is over. Raiders for Life is glad, but he should be on the practice squad. If possible, only Gruden won that dude, so we already knew Mike Mark was on Mariota. Yes, that is true. The reason why Peterman was there in the first place was because of John Gruden, and considering John Gruden is no longer there anymore, it's even more of a reason to let him go. And no, I don't think it's because of racism. I think it's just because John Gruden actually liked Nathan Peterman as a prospect. Now, as a quarterback, yes, XC, Aaron Rodgers was unvaccinated. That was reported. Even though in August he said that he was immunized, in reality he was never vaccinated. He was only doing that to get the media off his back. And I understand why he was doing that. I mean, that's his own personal choice. But at the same time, your team needs you to be there every single week, and you're the number one reason why your team is at the top of the NFC at this very moment. You're the number one reason why your team, as great as Matt LaFleur has been as a head coach, and as great as the defense has been, and as great as Aaron Jones and Devontae Parker and David Bakhtiari have been for you, at the same time, everyone knows that is the team of Aaron Rodgers. Without Aaron Rodgers, that team is not where it is. And without him on Sunday against the Kansas City Chiefs, a team that many had as potentially one of the best games of the season, one of the marquee games ever since the NFL decided to add another game to the regular season. This was, out of all the extra 17th games, this was arguably, I would say easily the most anticipated one, because you had Rodgers versus Mahomes. A couple years ago in 2019, in the Chiefs Super Bowl year, we had a chance to see it, but that was taken from us because of an injury that Mahomes had. I think the week on Thursday Night Football against the Broncos. And that led to Matt Moore against Aaron Rodgers, and the Packers ended up winning that game. And that could have also been a potential Super Bowl matchup. It was the match of the very first ever Super Bowl, not the first ever NFL championship, guys. Let's not forget that. He was the first ever Super Bowl. It says right here that apparently Matt LaFleur is saying that he does not know whether or not he was vaccinated or not. But also what we know is that I think it was like a third-string quarterback they gave it to him. So that means Jordan Love will get his first ever NFL start against the Kansas City Chiefs. Kurt Benkert was the guy. And big news, everyone that loves memeable quarterbacks. Yes, XC, Packers Chiefs. You are correct. It would be every 4 years. However, with the rules of the extra game that the NFL put in place, the home team, the team that the conference that gets the extra home game faces against the division that they faced off 2 years ago. It's like, for instance, the Chiefs and the Packers played against each other 2 years ago. Last year, the Chiefs and the Packers finished first in their divisions. So as a result, the Chiefs host the Packers in Arrowhead. That's how it works. Here's another example for the Raiders. The Raiders faced against the Bears 2 years ago. Funny enough, that was in London. And as a result, they both finished in second place in their division. So as a result, the Raiders earlier this season faced off at home in Vegas against the Bears. That's how it works. So next year, the way it's going to work is, let's say the Raiders win the AFC West, and let's say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers finish first in the NFC South. Because they played against each other in the division last year, that means the Raiders will be against the Buccaneers in Tampa next year if they both finish in the same placement. That's how it works. That's how the 17th game works, XC, in case you were curious. So yeah, this is something that's not going to come around often. Their next chance of this happening, if Rodgers decides to stay with the Packers, yeah, the Khalil Mack matchup. That was also Gruden's final game as the Raiders head coach before everything was forced to come out. No problem, XC, anytime. I think Wikipedia also does a good job of explaining it as well. Blake Bortles, by the way, was signed by the Packers to be the backup of Jordan Love because Kurt Benkert is the one that had COVID and he gave it to Aaron Rodgers. So potentially, what if Jordan Love gets hurt? Oh, that could be pretty interesting. Blake Bortles against the Chiefs, like we all wanted. Also, I should mention this news to you guys because all the Raiders fans here. Apparently, there was some news on Henry Ruggs. It's saying here that he had a loaded gun in his car, and he was driving drunk, twice above the legal limit, and he was going over 156 miles an hour. I know this sounds kind of tasteless, but like it said in his draft card, speed kills. Speed kills. Speed kills. In this case, it killed his girlfriend. It killed his girlfriend. Like I said to you guys before, if you are drunk, or if you're high, and if you're at a party, do not, under any circumstances, get in the driver's seat of that car and hit the road. Never do that. You can get arrested, or even worse, you can get seriously injured, or you can end up killing someone because of your own ineptitude. And it's a sad, sad, sad situation that we have to deal with this, but this happens all across America. This happens all across America with Henry Ruggs. And his career is over. And it's such a shame, too, because going into the draft, Zenny, I feel bad for him, too, considering that was his number one receiver. That's the one that he wanted the Raiders to get. And for his time with the Raiders, he was good. He was good. He had 4 touchdowns. He was a great deep threat for them. But it's a privilege to play in this league. It's not a right. Especially at this point in his career, he's only played a year and a half, and he's already out of a job because of his own stupidity. I understand it was a bye week and all, but regardless, whether or not you are a football player, baseball, I don't care who you are, you should never drive drunk. You're going to injure yourself or a loved one, or potentially kill yourself or a loved one. This is unbelievable. It's a different world. But even then, it's never acceptable. His girlfriend's dead. The person he loved, she trusted him. She trusted him, and he did that. He did that to her. Drove 156 miles an hour on the freeway in Nevada. That is just idiotic. That is idiotic. It is insulting, and it is completely dumbfounded. I hope the family gets what they deserve. I hope the family gets some compensation for it, because this is something that should be used as a clear message. And I do feel bad for all you Raiders fans. It's been a very tough year, even though they're on top of the division, and I'm rooting for you guys. I'm really rooting for you guys. Man, John Gruden forcefully resigned because of the emails, basically the sacrificial lamb. And yeah, he was the sacrificial lamb. Let's be real here. Oh yeah, XC, I can confirm to you that he's going to face at least 2 to 22 years to 20 years in prison for this. He's facing multiple felonies and DUI manslaughter. That tells you all you need to know. His career is done. His life is done. His way of life is done. And he has no one to blame but himself. I hate saying that, but it's true. He has no one else to blame but himself for this situation. And it sucks too, because I liked Henry Ruggs. I liked Henry Ruggs as a player coming out of Alabama. I thought he'd be an amazing player, and I thought he was perfect for the Raiders. And in his time playing, he was really good. He was really good. But at the same time, Aaron Hernandez was also really good. And he killed someone. Intentionally. And for all we know, he might have killed a couple others. Henry Ruggs was not intentional. Barry Lee says, at least he has his stance down. Those players don't hike footballs. Yeah. Barry Lee, like I said, speed kills. Speed literally killed in this situation. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. An unbelievable weekend for everyone. The World Series, congrats everyone in Atlanta. I'm so happy for you guys. The sports curse is finally done. It's not as bad as Cleveland's. That was twice the length of Atlanta's. That was 26 years. Cleveland's was 52 years. But it was still horrible how long they had to wait. And I'm so happy that they had so many great teams over the years that won over 95 games, over 100 games, 105 games, and those never won. But this beat-up, decrepit team that was stitched together with duct tape and Elmer's glue carried its way with a worse record than the 6th and 7th place teams in the AL that didn't even make it. And they made it to the playoffs because their division wasn't good, beat the Brewers, beat the Dodgers, and beat the Astros to win it all. Will they be here next year? I don't know. I'm not picking them to do it, but I'm so happy for Atlanta. My friends in Georgia, I'm so happy for you. As for the Astros, unlike most people, I don't think the Astros are that bad. Yes, they did cheat, but at the same time, I know there's other teams that cheated. The Dodgers also cheated. We know the Rockies also cheated. We know the Brewers also cheated. The Red Sox cheated. We know the Yankees probably cheated as well. So they're no exception to the rule. Hell, Tony La Russa back in the day was cheating himself with the White Sox, stealing signs, and also giving his players steroids. So I don't think they're innocent in any stretch of the imagination. But yeah, I do feel very happy for the Braves. I don't think they're going to be here next year. I think they're going to win the division, but I'm not too sure about anyone else. As for everything else going on, Nathan Peterman, seeing him out of a job, man, it's. I hope he gets signed by someone, considering that we do need to keep the meme potential going. I mean, we already have Blake Bortles now with the Packers, so I'm happy for that. But there needs to be more. Do you think Cleveland will be able to keep their new name because of the lawsuit? Actually, Barry, that's a good question. I don't think they will. I was thinking at first they would because they are a major league franchise. However, the roller derby team, also known as the Cleveland Guardians, had that ahead of time. So I don't really think it's that likely. And if they do manage to keep it, I'd be very surprised by that, because it looks like the roller derby team might actually be pulling away with this, but I'm not entirely sure. I mean, you're going to be called Cleveland Baseball Team for another year or two, and they're going to choose a new name, probably the Spiders. I like the name Spiders a lot. Historically, it's a great name. Guardians was okay. I did prefer Spiders a bit more. I also like the name Renegades. I've always liked that name, Renegades. The Cleveland Renegades. It just sounds awesome to me. Like the Ottawa in the CFL, they had a team called the Renegades. Great name. Team wasn't good. The XFL, the team in Dallas, was called Dallas Renegades. Awesome name. Not a great franchise. Do I feel bad for Dusty Baker? Yeah, a bit. But at the same time, I already know that Dusty Baker is going to make the Hall of Fame regardless. Yes, I understand that I have many issues with Cooperstown for many reasons, because they don't put enough people in. They put in way too little. Like they don't even have the guy that invented the shortstop position or the 9 innings in baseball. Doc Adams, one of the pioneers of the sport, and he's not in. Curt Flood basically invented free agency, and he's not inducted. Buck O'Neil was a pioneer for the Negro League and making it to as big as it is and giving national recognition to it, and he's not in. So, and of all these sports halls, I feel like basketball's the best one. Football needs a lot of work, but I think it'd be possible. Yeah, the Hit King, yeah. You don't have Pete Rose, you don't have Joe Jackson. It's funny that you have the Field of Dreams, which is all about Joe Jackson, but meanwhile, you guys still don't want to induct him. That sounds pretty hypocritical, doesn't it? It sounds very weird that you're profiting off his name, but you don't want to give him any benefits. That sounds pretty sickening, especially when it's confirmed that he wasn't even involved in any of that BS. And more people are coming to his side and seeing him as, a tragic hero and as someone that was a martyr for the game than if anything else. Then again, it doesn't also shock me for a sport that claims that Cooperstown is where baseball was founded, when in reality, we all know that it came after people migrated from Europe to Ellis Island and New York City, and cricket and rounds basically came to what we know as baseball. Did you hear the new Major League Football he wants to play? I heard a little bit about that, but if they do want to do that, that's a very losing strategy. Hey, I love football. I want to see more of it. I'm down with it. I love the XFL when it was here. I like the AAF. Though I do like the XFL more. I'm excited to see the new Spring League. The Spring League's been good. One thing's for sure. The USFL is coming back. One thing's for sure. I hope Luis Perez is there, because Luis Perez has been in all these leagues so far. He's been with the XFL. He's been with the AAF. He's been with the Spring League. Hopefully he goes to the USFL as well. There's also the Fan Control Football League, which is like an arena game, except the fans control it. I love seeing that. I love what the fans are able to decide. Listen, the fans, they want to play most games on Sunday. Oh, yeah. Yeah. they're going to fail. They're going to fail. When Trump was a part of the USFL, he tried to do that, and guess what? The USFL was no longer a thing. And many of its great players like Reggie White and Steve Young and Jim Kelly and the other guys that I think should be in the Hall of Fame, or at least considered, like maybe Nate Newton or Sam Mills or Herschel Walker, those guys as well. The USFL, it's supposed to start in the spring of next year from what I understand. I don't know if it's a completely new league or if it's the Spring League. I saw Alexander Wilson says, I saw Ken Burr's documentary, The Civil War Soldier, playing baseball. Yes, that is true. It was started way back when. Doc Adams is my most wanted guy for the Baseball Hall of Fame. I think just someone like him, who was so integral to the sport's creation. The guy was born in 1814, and over 200 years, and the man's still not in Cooperstown. That is absolutely insulting. Not sad or a joke. I think it's downright insulting. I think with all these halls, even though I'm big with it, I would say the one I'm most angry about is always baseball, which is why I try not to think about it as much. Yes, you're right. Yeah, that's what it should be. It was like that the first time. It should be like that the second time. If anyone's trying to do another league for football, it should only be in the spring. Fall, NFL's already taken in. Summer, will Oakland have a USFL team? I do not know. I do not know. I want them to. I hear that Oakland's basically on the verge of getting a WNBA team with Elena Beard, who I think should be going to be a Hall of Famer one day. Amazing defensive player for a time in the WNBA. I think for Oakland, they will get a WNBA team, and I think afterwards they might go to like Toronto or maybe Philadelphia. I'm not sure else. I know that Drake wants a WNBA team in Toronto. I'm not too sure. Like St. Louis or Kansas City could be an option. I'm not too sure. When I've seen, I also know that if Oakland does get a USFL team, it could increase demand for potentially an NFL team expanding over there. Because in case you guys don't know, I'm going to make another vlog about that afterwards. Not too long afterwards, but I'll just say it right here. St. Louis is winning its litigation against the NFL, and if things all... Oh, nice. Very nice, Barry Lee. I really like that. I really like it. Oh, yeah, I'd be down for that. If St. Louis is winning... St. Louis right now is winning its lawsuit against the NFL, and if push comes to shove, it could potentially lead to St. Louis getting an expansion team like the St. Louis Stallions. I think we'll probably go with the Stallions, something else. Stallions is just like the very basic name that everyone thinks of with the St. Louis team. And if that happens, what's going to be next? Could San Antonio get one? Could Toronto get one? Could another city get one? And if you're going to mention St. Louis, what about Oakland? Oakland could be a possibility. San Diego, why not? I don't see why not. Listen, if St. Louis can potentially get a team back, and if that's their third time, I don't see why Oakland can't get another one for a third time. I mean, the Chargers were there in San Diego for like 55 years. And Oakland Invaders. I love it. Great name. I love that name, Oakland Invaders. Invaders, Raiders, rhymes. It also works as well. They're invading the Coliseum. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. I'm very excited for the city of Oakland and what they're going to be going to next. San Diego Crushers. Is that the name for the USFL, or is that a name that you suggest? I like the name San Diego Crushers personally. I mean, it sounds similar to Chargers, similar how Invaders sound similar to Raiders. If San Antonio gets a team, I've always wanted to see San Antonio get one for a third Texas team. How does it sound? The San Antonio Missions or the San Antonio Commanders. I think that was one of the AAF names. I think I'm gonna try one of those things out. I think that could work. I haven't really heard much about the OBJ news personally, so I'm not really informed with it. So I can't really comment on the matter. Any other news from Oakland that I'm not hearing about? Because I'd love to speak about it. USFL, San Diego Gunslinger. Oh, yes. Can't mention we already have a double A base. Barry Lee, are you from San Antonio? If not the Missions, they can probably call it something else. Like, Portland is a team that is an area that people thought could maybe get a baseball team, but over the few years, Nashville's really been boosting in terms of its demand. Montreal's still number one, though. I think an NFL team will relocate like the Jags were an expansion team. Okay. Alex, where do you think the Jaguars would relocate to? Do you think they'd move to London, or do you think they could move to another place like St. Louis or something else? Nice. Very nice. I'd be down. Like I said, I'm really down for the idea of a NFL team in San Antonio. I think Texas, considering its increased population as the second most populated state in the nation. St. Louis, I could see. Like I said, I could see that. And You wouldn't have to you wouldn't have to realign anything too. I mean, granted, to be fair, this is the same league that has the Cowboys in the NFC East, despite being in Dallas. So does it really matter? Buffalo or Pittsburgh for them for NBA? You know, XC, San Diego Jaguars. I'm not too sure. I could maybe see something like that, but again, I'm not too sure. As for the NBA potentially expanding, Seattle and Las Vegas are the two easy locations that everyone brings up, and those are the two most likely. Seattle because of the Supersonics for many years. Jerry won't let San Antonio, but you know, with all the stuff going on in St. Louis, it might actually lead to San Antonio getting its hand and getting an NFL team potentially. That's what I've been hearing. If not that, I have no clue. As for what was I going to say? As for the NBA, Tampa and Cincinnati. Seattle and Las Vegas are the two easy locations that everyone mentions. Afterwards, I've heard talked about Kansas City. In case you don't remember, the Sacramento Kings, there is a petition to move them to Norfolk, Virginia, in the Virginia Beach area. But that was turned down. That led to Golden One Center getting built in Sacramento. So that never happened. So potentially Norfolk or Virginia Beach could be an option for them to expand to, but I'm not too sure. Pittsburgh could be a possibility because it's been getting a lot of its reputation as the Silicon Valley of the East. So that could be a potential opportunity. As for Buffalo, I can't see it. I can't see Buffalo. I mean, he's relocate with Washington, D.C. Listen, the Reds football, Washington is not leaving. Can I just say Redskins? Is Oakland going to get an NBA team? No, I can't. The closest they're going to get is the WNBA team, John. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, John, but I can only see that happening. I can only see a WNBA team happening. Listen, it's better than nothing. At least you still have at least you have professional basketball still. It's better than nothing, I would say. Also, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh could have it. Buffalo, I can't see happening. St. Louis could be a possibility. As for outside America, Vancouver could potentially get a second chance. I'd be down for that. You know, they did have a team with the Grizzlies. Then they've been in Memphis for like 20 years. So I don't see why they can't have another chance. Like, their uniforms were amazing. When scored in the Norfolk area is not viable. You know, I agree with you. I'm not really that big on the idea of Virginia Beach getting a basketball team myself. I would say that outside of, you know, Seattle, Las Vegas, and Kansas City, I would say after that, probably Louisville. Yeah, I don't probably have an issue with saying the Redskins. Some might, but I don't care. The Redskins, I still call them Redskins on occasion. I would say after, if you're talking about American cities, after Seattle, Las Vegas, and Kansas City, the place I would think about adding another NBA team, it would easily be Louisville. Because Louisville had the Colonels, the Kentucky Colonels. They were there for a while. They were very competitive with the Pacers back in the ABA days. John Mark said, will the Athletics leave for Vegas despite the news of the Henry Ruggs tragedy? Yeah, I still think they will. And I hate saying that as someone that really wants to see Oakland. Listen, the Bay Area is massive. They deserve to have multiple teams. But at the same time, I just can't see it considering all the circumstances that are involving it. But that's just my 2 cents on the matter. What else do you guys think? You know, I'm going to be heading out in just a bit. So I want to say thanks to everyone that's been able to watch this. It's been great. Also, thanks for everyone making my Henry Ruggs video my most viewed video on Zenny62 Media. I really appreciate it. Congratulations to everyone that's been a part of it for the last few years. It's been amazing. I can't thank you guys enough. It's going to be even more. This is just the beginning, guys, so don't worry. There's going to be more videos on the way coming soon. Make sure you hit like on this video if you haven't already. We want to see those like numbers come up. It's going to be big for the channel, everyone involved. Want to make sure you hit subscribe for Zenny62 Media if you haven't done it already. Hit the notification bell to be notified for new videos as soon as you possibly can. And until then, guys, I'll see you all in the next vlog. happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Congratulations to Atlanta for a Braves World Series championship. And best of luck, Blake Bortles, on your new team. And good luck, Jordan Love. See ya.